Hello, everybody, and welcome to the May 2021 update of the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour. And we have some railroading stuff to share with you. That's why I'm playing railroad-themed songs in the background. So, I haven't added much because the things that I have added took a lot of time and work. But I will share those with you. We also did an update in mid-April, so that's another reason why I only have 8 new things to talk about today. But before we get to that, I'm going to share with you a few shameless plugs like normal. But before that, I'd just like to wish all the women out there who have children a happy Mother's Day. And
those women out there who will have women in the future.
Future presidents.
Future mothers out there.
Yeah. So, first we're going to talk about Patreon. And this is how you can help support all of the content that we bring you on the World Wide Web. Not just the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour, but also our many podcasts and all sorts of different things that we bring to you over the internet. And Brian, why don't you tell everybody about the different levels?
All right, the levels. We have 4 levels. And it starts off with the $1 level. You can be a brave cricketer. And at that level, you'll get the song of the day, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a little rusty on these.
Everybody, $1 and up gets all the songs included in the Song of the Day as a little album that I set up at the end of each month. So you get average of 30 songs every month just for contributing $1.
And you can be a truthful cricketer at the $5 level, and there you'll get all of the bonuses, all of the rewards at the $1 level, plus Down the Rabbit Hole podcast that Chris, Ruthie, and I do every month.
Yes, it's a special podcast just for people who support at the $5 level or higher. Plus, another reward at the $5 level, we do a cartoon commentary. We watch an old Disney short, and we provide a commentary, and we send you that video every month as well, just for $5 and up.
Yeah, we get a little goofy on that, so those are fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The next level is an unselfish cricketer, and you get everything at the $1 and $5 levels get, plus the Disneyland anthology series commentaries that we did, and we're in the middle of doing Disneyland After Dark. That's a really fun one.
We watched an episode of the Disney anthology that has a Disneyland theme to it, like when Walt is talking about Disneyland and whatnot. And as we're watching it, we provide a commentary. And we've been doing them in chronological order, so we're up to 1962 now, and we just did Disneyland After Dark. The first half, and we'll send the second half for the reward next month.
Right. And our grand tier, the official conscience level, the $25 a month level, you get everything the other levels have to offer. Plus, Chris will send you a complete chapter of the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour of your choosing.
Yes, you pick one chapter every 6 months, and if you remain a contributor for 6 months at the $25 level, after the 6 months, you get to pick another chapter. So every 6 months, you get a full chapter. Usually,
in
the
14 years, you can have the whole thing.
The chapters have an average of 100 audio tracks on each chapter, so you're getting a lot for that.
Yeah.
So
that's the levels. What's next?
If you want to find our Patreon online, it's at www.patreon.com/DisneyChris. The next thing, we also have a merchandise store, and we have two different logos. We have our Dateline Jiminy Cricket logo and our regular Disney Chris Compass logo, and it's available on everything that's sold. Either you pick which logo you'd like. We've got stickers, notebooks, t-shirts, mugs. The t-shirts are available in all sizes, all colors, men's and women's, children's, up to 4X. So they're not just white t-shirts. There's all sorts of different colors you can get. And to get to our store, you go to jcpodcast.threadless.com, or you can just link to it from the homepage on the Disney Chris website. And tell everybody about Instagram, Brian.
Follow us on Instagram, DisneyChris_JC_podcast. I've taken that over for Chris. We have almost 1,100 followers over there, and I'll add a really cool vintage Disneyland photo just about every day, and also provide updates to what we've got on our podcast channels as well. So follow along with us. Good times, great stuff.
DisneyChris_JC_podcast.
Yeah.
We also have a group on Facebook. You can follow us and communicate with us. It is Jiminy Cricket's podcast, Jiminy Cricket's ! Podcast. And you can join that group and get updated on everything happening with the audio tour and the podcasts. And also, it's a fun place to talk to other Disney fans. Now, we also have an audio-only podcast that we release roughly once a month. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on what's happening. So, in February, we released episode number 134, which was a 20th anniversary tribute to California Adventure. Then we didn't have a March episode, but in April we released 2 episodes. We had 2 Winnie the Pooh episodes, part 1 and part 2, which were episodes 137 and 138. And we really dived deep into the whole history of Disney and its affiliation with Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. And we're not doing an episode next month because we had 2 last month, and it was kind of an intense, it was a lot of work to do those.
A lot of research. Yeah.
A lot of research, a lot of editing on my part. I mean, it was like 2 3.5-hour episodes. So we are going to be we're taking May off, and we're coming back in June for an episode on the original Fantasyland dark rides, which will be a lot of fun. And we also have other podcasts, including a Dateline Jiminy Crickets, which is a video show we do on our YouTube channel. And we do that about once a month as well, sometimes more, sometimes less. And we have more of just topical subject matter, not as much historical. We have top 10 lists. We talk about news and current events and things like that. And then Down the Rabbit Hole is our podcast exclusively for $5 and up supporters. To get to all of our podcasts that are the regular free podcasts for everybody, go to jcricketspodcast.blogspot.com. We've also been doing something sort of fun this year. We've been doing special episodes that are bonus episodes of our podcasts, which are available for everybody. And we just released them on our regular podcast stream. And they're music episodes. And so far we've released the first 2 episodes. And they are in chronological order, and it's sort of the history of Disney through its musical legacy. And so far, episode 1 was like the early years in the 30s into the 40s, and then the second episode was like the 50s into the 60s, and now coming on May 4th, we will be releasing part 3, which is covering the years 1963 to 1973, the legacy of Walt Disney. And if you become a supporter of the Disney Chris website through Patreon or PayPal, you will receive all of the audio content from all of the episodes in this podcast series, no matter what amount you donate, $1 and up. They don't let you donate less than $1, so it's $1 and up, and you will receive all of the music. There's 30 songs each episode, so after this episode, so far we will have released 60 songs. And by the time we're done, it'll be 100 songs. So that's another little incentive for you to donate to the site, especially now, so you can take advantage of getting that special bonus. Now, on my website, in addition to the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour, what's this all about, Brian?
The Disney Song of the Day? Oh, this is what gets me out of bed every day.
Uh-oh.
So, Chris will load a fantastic song up to his website every morning, and usually, you kind of load it at really late the night before.
Usually before I go to bed, yeah.
Yeah.
Or sometimes in the morning, depending on if I'm being lazy that night.
Yeah. And so what Chris does is he'll upload this for everybody's enjoyment, and usually if there's like a holiday during that month, it'll have a special theme to them, and if the rest of the year they're just anything Chris feels like sharing with us. And
sometimes I do special themed months, like last August I did Almost Disney August, where I posted songs that were not Disney songs but had some sort of affiliation to Disney. And
that was not against the law, though, was it?
No. And I'm thinking about doing something special for July. I haven't decided yet, but I'm thinking about doing a special Disneyland thing for July.
Cool.
So.
Yeah. And everybody that contributes at the $1 level and higher gets these all packaged up, and Chris will send them to you
at the end of each month. Now, we have a new feature on the website. Well, it's been a while now, but I just want to make sure everybody is aware of it. If you are trying to navigate my website using a mobile device, you might find it difficult because I have it set up for desktop devices. The formatting and everything is more compatible with a desktop computer or a laptop. So we have a special version of the audio tour specific to mobile devices, which is easier to navigate. It's not an app. You go to the regular website and you go to the page where the mobile-friendly audio tour is. And to get to that, you just go to disneychris.com/311, or you can link to it from the home page on my website. And that's all I have to talk about as far as promotions. So let's get on to the new content. And so the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour, for those who don't know, is a collection of vintage to current audio from the original Disneyland. Currently, I think I have 2,368 tracks, if I remember correctly. And this past month, I had hinted at this in our last video, that I might get these railroad tracks done, pun intended. And I have been putting this off for quite some time because it was a major undertaking. But I finally completed that project. And,
you went full steam ahead and really engineered this to completion.
Yes, to coin a phrase. So I'm going to talk about that, but just know that these tracks, to get them all done took me about 10 days, so that's why I don't have that much to share with you on this episode. So
yeah, he's not really going to just talk about it. He's going to conduct us through all of this stuff he did.
So
I'll stop.
I've added 7 tracks. This is all on Chapter 2, which is the town square. So the place where I have chosen to put all of the Railroad Grand Circle Tour tracks is on Chapter 2 Town Square, because that's where the Main Street Railroad Station is located. But one other thing I added to this chapter I would like to mention first is track 15, a Walk and Waltz Footsteps Guided Tour. Now this is all audio clips of music and sound bites of Walt Disney speaking and giving speeches and whatnot that I have, through asking people and just sort of hunting around and trying to figure it out, have sort of concluded that these are the things that are included in the tour. When you go on the tour, they give you an audio device.
Yeah, like a little headset thing.
With a headset, and as you get to various places, they either play music or they'll play different speeches from Walt Disney. And so I sort of deducted what that music is and what different sound bites of Walt have been used. Now, this may not be accurate. This is just what I've sort of come up with. And I may take the tour next year myself. And when I do, I might update this to be more accurate. But just to sort of put something out there, this is just sort of my fan version of this tour. And there's another section of this which Brian actually helped me with, which is the next track, which has been available for a while, where we actually do a tour of Walt Disney's Firehouse apartment. And Brian,
that was a lot of fun.
Brian was the tour guide. He did the voice for the tour guide. And track 14, which is actually the only track on this chapter now that is not yet available. Everything else except for track 14 is done. This is something Ruthie is going to help me with. And she'll be recording this for me sometime this month. And I have a script, a spiel from a 1962 guided tour of Disneyland. She is going to read the script, performing as a tour guide, and I will play different sound effects and things, so it'll sound like we're going through the park and she's the tour guide. And it'll be set in the year 1962, so sort of a classic tour of the park, with Ruthie as your plaid-dressed tour guide. So that's coming
she'll
sometime
be really good
soon.
with that.
It's
she'll
coming
be really
sometime
bright
soon.
and bubbly.
Now, I wanted a woman to do it because traditionally women were the tour guides back in those days. So let's talk about the railroads. There's 6 different ones, and they cover from the 70s up to the current version. So I have a whole block here. You see they're all marked new. So this is taken from different sources. Some of them are live recordings that were taken by guests back in the early days. Some of them are the actual source recordings. Some of them are induction recordings, which is sort of a swanky way to do a live recording that almost sounds like a studio recording. In fact, only one of them is actual studio recording. All the other, the ones from the 70s are just somebody had a tape deck and recorded. The ones from the 90s up to the present are all inductions. And the one from the 80s is it's the actual source material recording. So what I did was I used the narrations. When I say recordings, I mean the narration. I used the narrations. I cleaned them up. I got rid of any background noise and anything like that. And then I added all the sound effects for the train starting and stopping and pulling into the station and crossing different bridges and going through the rivers of America and through the Autopia area and the Grand Canyon and Primeval World and all that. So there's 6 different versions starting from 1974, and I even have the current version, which first started being used when they reopened the railroad after they rerouted it in the Frontierland to make room for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which premiered in 2017. And I assume, now that the park has reopened, they just started reusing it again now. So it's probably the same as they had before. And I just took these and added the sound effects. The one from 2017 was a YouTube video that I found that had like really excellent sound quality. And so I was able to use it. I had to cut a few things out because the conductor interrupted on the intercom and said, please keep your hands in.
Keep your hands inside.
and things like that. So I sort of had to cut stuff out here and there. But it's the majority of it is included. So there's 6 different versions. These have been marked as coming soon for about 2.5 years. I finally got it done. The one for 2015, somebody asked me about that. I put 2015 because that's the year it retired. Because that's when they closed it and started to do the work in Frontierland.
Change over.
And but this started to be used in the year 2001. So this is the one used from 2001 up to 2015. There was a little confusion about that.
Do you know who the narrators are for each one of these?
Okay, so I don't know who the first 2 are. Actually, I don't know who the first 3 are. I know the one from the 90s is Thurl Ravenscroft.
Yeah, I recognized his. Well, I did not recognize the voices of the other 3 either.
And the one from the 2001 to 2015, I don't remember the actor's name, but it's the same actor that played the neighbor that you never saw his face, Wilson, on Home Improvement. Whoever that actor is, I don't remember his name, that's who did it. And I don't know who does the current version either. If anybody does know, you can say in the comment section so everybody can see. But I actually don't know. Somebody messaged me and said, is it Jack Wagner? And I said, no, it's definitely, it doesn't sound at all like Jack Wagner to me, so I don't think it is. Now, I have added one more thing to another chapter.
I looked up Wilson's name. It's Earl Hindman.
Okay.
So that's one of them. But yeah, if you know the other narrator names, feel free to message Chris.
Okay, so I do recognize the voice of the 1980s one, and because I think he's the narrator who is in the cartoon from 57 or 58, the Paul Bunyan cartoon. It sounds like the same actor, the one that goes, these are books about America, its history and its legends. So I think that's from Paul Bunyan. Whoever that actor is that did that narration in Paul Bunyan, I think is the same actor that did this for the 80s Railroad, and I don't know who that is. But it does sound an awful lot like the same person. So there you go. There's a lead for you all to follow. So I did one more track on a different chapter, and now I only have one track left to add to this chapter as well. In fact, chapters 1 through 6, there's only 2 missing tracks on all those chapters. There's one track on chapter 2, which is the tour, which Ruthie's going to do, and then there's one track on this page. And everything else for the first 6 chapters is available now. So this new track I added is way towards the bottom, and what it is another Royal Theater show. I already added Tangled last month, And this is the one for Beauty and the Beast, which I added just yesterday. So this is the latest thing. And this is the live show with Mr. Smythe and Mr. Jones, and they reenact the story of Beauty and the Beast. And they play almost all the characters except for Belle. And also in the Beauty and the Beast, they have, I think, a robotic Lumiere that you can see him in this picture way in the back.
Yeah, right.
He's, and I don't know if he's a puppet or an audio animatronic, but he looks very real. And
yeah, I don't know either, but he's just kind of stationary back there.
He just stands there and participates in the story. So, right. And in the Tangled, there's 2 actors. Not only is it Rapunzel, but also who's the guy in Tangled, the hero? I forget his name.
Eugene Fitzherbert.
Yeah, whoever. Yeah.
Or Flynn Rider.
Flynn Rider is also in it. But all the other characters are acted out by the Mr. Smythe and Mr. Jones. So I only have one more thing, and the thing that I have for this chapter still to add is another Royal Theatre show. And this is for the Frozen, which was... Currently, they're showing Beauty and the Beast and Tangled, and that was the original lineup. But for a short time,
right,
they got rid of Beauty and the Beast temporarily and replaced it with Frozen for about, I don't know, less than a year. And then they retired the Frozen show and brought back Beauty and the Beast. But I do have this. So the thing with these are, and the reason why I've been so slow to add them, is because these are live recordings. And you hear babies crying, and people murmuring, and birds chirping, and steamboat whistles and things. So there's a lot of noises to get rid of, and it's really challenging and a lot of work. That Beauty and the Beast track was a lot easier than the Tangled one was, and it took me about 3 days of solid work.
Wow.
So,
I wonder why that's so.
Because of what I just said, have to get rid of all those noises. So the Royal Theatre Frozen show is on hold. I'm not going to work on that now because I need a break. That was a lot of work, so I don't want to do it again. I need some time to recover. So actually what I'm working on now, and what you can look forward to next month, is I am doing all of the original Tomorrowland. I'm going to try and get that whole chapter done, which is chapter 15, 1950s Tomorrowland. And I will be setting up all of the music first. I've already got 7 things in the queue waiting to have their final inspection cleanup. But I have about 50 tracks. Some of them are new. Some of them are redo of what's already there. I'm improving. I think 32 are new, and the rest are redo. And I'm going to try and get all of those set up. So once they're all set up, I'll start adding them to the site. I'll go through them. So there might be a little hiatus for new content because I'm still working in the background getting everything set up in advance, and then I'll go back and do the final cleanup and then add them to the site. That's sort of my working way I do it. I get everything set up first, then once that's done, then I do the final edit and add them to the site. So it's kind of like a two-stage production.
A stew stage, yeah.
So there might be a couple weeks where that's what I'm doing. I'm doing all the setting up, so you won't see anything new added. But as soon as it's ready, I will start adding the new stuff to the site. So probably either later in May or by June for sure, you'll get a bunch of Tomorrowland stuff. Then once that's done, I'll go back and work on the other things for the other chapters. So I currently have 20 tracks for chapters 1 through 6 and 19 through 27. that still need to be edited, cleaned up, and added to the site. So there's the 2 for chapters 1 through 6, and then there's 18 for chapters 19 through 27. And actually, it's chapter 19 and chapter 27. There's 12 tracks for chapter 19 and 6 for chapter 27 that still need to be added. But everything on those chapters is really difficult stuff to clean up. It's like really tedious. I've done a lot of the tedious and difficult stuff already, so now I need a break. So I'm gonna stop working on that stuff for now, do the Tomorrowland, which is a lot easier and more fun stuff for me. Then once that's done, I'll go back and do some more of that really hard stuff. I'll probably get the Frozen thing done, and I'll probably get the guided tour thing that Ruthie's going to do done, because she's going to record that in the middle of May for me, and I'll have her audio to get that done. All right, so that's what's coming up. And thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And,
always a pleasure to listen to what you've gotten done on the tour, because I listen to it almost every day.
So I'd like to thank everybody and for your support. And I kept it short because I didn't have that much this time, but I added a little bit of extra detail on what's coming to fill in that time. But I will see you all. Definitely won't have a mid-month update for May, so I'll see you all in June, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.